WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something unique, a single cask. Bunnahabhain. Proudly Supporting Sea Sheperd, single malt Scotch whiskey, first fill sherry butt. 46%. I don't understand why. Whiskybase ID WB253213. This was distilled on the 28th of May 2012. This was bottled on the 28th of February 2024. Just a few months shy of 12 years old, so it's an 11-year-old whiskey. Cask number 900791. It is a full maturation in a first fill Oloroso sherry butt. It just says first fill sherry butt. It doesn't say Oloroso, sorry. And we have 850 bottles. Now, according to the press release, Signatory Vintage, not Kirsch, that is the importer in Germany, but Signatory Vintage will actually give a percentage of the turnover of these bottles, of the sales of these bottles to Sea Sheperd, which I commend. And yet, I kind of think, why? Why should I pay 99 euros, that's the recommended retail price, for 46% 11-year-old Bunna, when I can get a 46.3% 12-year-old Bunna for half? This is under 50 euros. I can get it under 45 euros if I look. All right, so I can get two of these for one of these. This is older. This has 0.3% more alcohol. Yes, Jason, it's not single cask. Yes, Jason, it's bourbon and sherry. This is exclusively matured in sherry. First fill sherry on top of that. So therefore, it has to be worth more. Well, taste decides. Flavor decides. I would much rather that each person that buys a bottle of this just goes online and donates 20 euros to Sea Sheperd. They're going to get more than if they buy a bottle for 100 euros. Why? Over here in Germany, 30% of every price is going to be for the retailer. 30%, roughly around, is going to be for the importer. 19% of everything is going to be VAT. And so what Signatory Vintage actually gets for this bottle, even they donate half of what they get, 20 euros directly sent to Sea Sheperd, is much, much more. Now, I do commend Signatory Vintage for creating an awareness for Sea Sheperd. Sea Sheperd is an organization which actually protects the wildlife, especially the maritime wildlife in the seas, sometimes with more force than I think is necessary. Now, I'm not going to talk about Sea Sheperd's history or about the pros and cons. I think we need to protect the environment, and I don't care what organization is doing it. Thank you. Will I personally donate my money to Sea Sheperd? So far, I haven't. Have I donated my money to other organizations to protect the environment? Yes, I have. Not much, but I have. So this creates awareness. This shows me that Signatory Vintage is aware of what's going on in the world at the moment. And yet I criticize on purpose their pricing. Recommended retail price, 99 euros for a 46% ABV bottle is just not in line with market prices at the moment. Had this been in cask strength with 58, 61, even 50 something, I would have went, But diluting it down to 46% and then asking the geeks to go out and buy it, that's a hard sell. And it's been on the market now for over a month. And if I look at all the different online shops, the prices are going down and down and down. So there's shops now selling it for 87 euros instead of the recommended retail price of 99. And that shows a little bit. There's two tiny little people reviews, the ranks. Two people have ranked this whiskey on Whiskybase. No one's reviewed it. And it's been out for over a month. And one of the biggest problems we have in Germany at the moment is a lot of the shops have actually called this Stosha. Stosha means the heavily peated. version of the independently bottled Bunnahabhains. And it's not peated. And people are going, is it peated? Is it not peated? I don't know if I want to buy it or not. Maybe I need a sample and what's going on in here. And so it's unpeated Bunna. There's no peat, believe me, on the nose, on the taste. I'm overly sensitive to peat. And so nowhere does it say Stosha on the bottle, but so far all the independently bottled things from Signatory Vintage were peated, and therefore people just assumed, oh, another peated. And they buy it and they're disappointed. And they're like, don't buy it, it's not peated. It's problems over problems over problems with this bottle. Now let's smell, and then let's taste, and let's review. This was a good sherry butt. I still would say it's oloroso. There's the leatherness of there's a spiciness, there's a little bit of a dark cherry moment. It's also a little bit of an artificial moment sometimes. This is the sherry syrup type of sherry cask that I am not a great fan of, but it's okay. Over here, the 12-year-old Bunna, the standard 12-year-old core range product, available all over the world. Now on the nose, this has less of the sherry goodness. This has a little bit of a vegetal moment. Vegetal, think you've just cut up some green bell peppers, that vegetal moment. That's what I'm getting here. I'm studying more and more of the chemistry of whiskey, and one day I'm going to, hopefully, that's at least my thought, my dream, to actually pinpoint the chemical compound that creates this smell. I'm trying to find it, all right? I've read it, I'm trying to remember it, what that is, all right? So it's a little bit in there. Good, let's try these. 46%, 11 years, 46.3, 12 years. 45, 99, 50, 99, whatever. Nice. I like the picture here. I don't know if you can see it or not. The Sea Sheperd. So, proudly supporting. Well done. Well done with the label. Cheers. That is hot. That is really, really hot. There's also a chemical compound that creates that heat. Ralphie always says, hey, they're running the stills too hot. I didn't understand what he meant by that, and the more I'm learning about chemistry, it's like, oh, okay, if you're running it too hot, then there's one chemical compound goes up over the line arm and gets in the cask, and it's very difficult to get rid of it. It remains hot because that chemical compound doesn't really interact with the cask as much as it should, and it just stays there. If you know what chemical compound I'm talking about, write it down. I read it just a couple days ago on my in my book, but I'm still learning. All right. So hot, and the flavor profile towards the end is good, but it's just hot. Now sometimes I think it's me. I think I'm just a little oversensitive. When I do a whiskey video like this, I try to avoid, for example, Thai food. After I eat it, I'm very sensitive to heat. Doritos, anything like that, they have that a little bit of a intensifier for the flavor intensifying. And afterwards, I drink a whiskey, and it's just always so hot. And I haven't had that today. If I go over here to the Bunna 12, tobacco, leather, the sherry and bourbon combination together, just fantastic. The depth of this whiskey for that price is fabulous. If you've never had a Bunna 12 in your life, go out and buy one. I highly, highly recommend it. It's not at all peaty, it's not smoky. There is a tiny little bit, maybe barrel char towards the end, but there's a depth and complexity to this whiskey that just people have fallen in love with it for decades now. And this is a fabulous, fabulous whiskey, and it makes it almost impossible for an independently bottled whiskey to beat it, at least in my book. I'm sure there's some out there, but would I go out there and blindly buy a bottle of whiskey that costs twice as much as this, that's incorrectly advertised many times as a Stosha, which is a peated, heavily peated Buna, and then open it up to see that it's not peated, and then to actually, okay, it's just, okay, normal first fill sherry, 46%, 11 years of age. A lot of sherry moment, a lot of that heat. It's hot, hot, hot. Adding a little bit of water does calm it down, but yet the heat still remains towards the end. Almost it gives you heartburn, a tiny little bit. Now, all that complaining, this is still a C whiskey. This is not a C minus. It's definitely not a C plus. It's a good whiskey. The value for money, D minus. Would I go out there and buy this for 100 euros? Definitely not. Again, I bought it because I was, oh, okay, good. Why not? I still have half my bottle left. Even my bottle share that I did, not many people wanted it. There's confusion out there. I hope through this video other people will find out, hey, it's a good whiskey. A little bit hot, a little bit over expensive, but why not? But as I said, if you yourself want to do something good for Sea Sheperd, go to the website, donate money. Great job. But do not buy this bottle and expect to have them get more than 10 euros per bottle, probably more like 5 euros per bottle. So 850 bottles, that's 3,500 euros. Great. But the supply chain, how many people in between gets how much money in between? So, value for money, D minus, taste C. Question of the day. What whiskeys, fun, independently bottled Bunnahabhains, can you actually recommend that taste better than the core range? Taste better than the 12-year-old? Taste better than the 12-year-old cask strength? Taste better than the new 18-year-old cask strength that should be coming out in the fall? Taste better than some of the other Fischl bottlings that Bunnahabhain do every year? Bunnahabhain's doing a great job. They are really, really spoiling us with great bottles for an absolute, most of the time. Some of them older stuff, way out of my league, but the standard stuff for a price that is more than acceptable, more than fair on the market today. And if I had Buna casks laying around, I wouldn't know what to do with them either. All right, so good. Thank you very much, Signatory Vintage, for raising the brand awareness of Sea Sheperd. Thank you very much for this interesting bottle, and yet every day of the week I would go for this. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, telling others, and sharing. See you real soon. Whiskey Jason. Bye-bye.